Afternoon, we're gonna call the meeting to order at 12:19, Friday, May 27. Welcome everybody to the meeting. We have a sign-up sheet,
Circulating right here.
circulating.
Aquí está.
Ms. Martinez, you wanna go over persons that are in attendance?
Yes, so Mr. Jose Zuniga,
Present.
Mr. Juan Gonzalez, he did advise us he was not gonna be able to make it today.
Correct.
Mr. Oscar Lopez is not here yet. Ms. Eva Montoya. Here. Mr. Jorge Gonzalez.
Here.
And of course you have some city staff and you have, the capsule management team also here. And of course we have some guests, today from, the proposal that we will be discussing.
Thank you. Citizen comments, we're gonna open citizen comments and leave them open until the end of the meeting. Finance, operation and status report by Capstone Real Estate Services Inc. and city staff.
You can skip, you don't have to go in that order if you want.
Let's move their
If you
item up
wanna-
first. I move that we
You can motion to
discuss
move. Item 5.
item 5.
Okay, we'll go to item number 5, discussion and possible action on proposed commercial lease by potential tenants and business plan. So we're open the floor for you guys for your presentation
Or any discussion that you
or
want.
discussion.
Action. Do you want to just?
We were, I guess, under the impression that you all were gonna decide if you all were gonna put the hood in, or if we were gonna put the hood in, and at what rent we were gonna, I guess, set at. If you all did the hood, then it would be the 3,100, and if we put the hood in, it would be 1,800, I believe. That was.
Yes, and we did discuss it, I'll give a little bit, so Tina Martinez, I am, the staff liaison from the Community Development Department that helps the board and helps the management company, with matters of the Hamilton Hotel. So, we did discuss in our last meeting, and the board did, I believe, want to go in the direction of the board will, or Capstone, we will be, replacing the hood, because we still feel that that is gonna be needed regardless of what, restaurant goes in there. So we do, that is our intent to, and then we did have our inspectors go and that was correct, that hood does need to be updated to pass code. So we will be, we are working on our quotes and we will be replacing that. So you will not have to take that expense. We will be working on that regardless of what ends up being the outcome today.
Okay.
Now, we did review some of the other items that you mentioned, like the paint and the flooring.
That would just be on us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which is,
yeah.
we're fine
So
with that.
those is just on us. The
Okay.
big part. It's just the hood.
Yeah, and we just wanna remind you,
Yes.
anything that you have questions on the building,
Yeah.
just let us know. We feel that painting and flooring should not be an issue. That's a really historical building.
Yes, yes.
And we've gotten, we need to make sure that we maintain the integrity.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so just always refer to us and we'll help you out throughout the process. If there's any question on what you can remove,
Yes.
what you can add.
Yes.
And I know sometimes, our windows on the outside are very
Yeah.
like historic, so,
Right.
so they're very.
No, we're very concerned about
But
those.
we'll help in any way that you can. If you do have any questions on putting signs outside are
Yes.
also a big deal
Yes.
in this area. And there's a process with the city, but we'll help you all through that if you all have any questions. Now, in regards to your proposal, so, I know the board, and you all can have some discussion, but I know the board had, wanted to, look at, we did some analysis because the one we mentioned to you, there's no way of separating utilities, so
Yes.
water, gas, and the electricity will have to be included in the rent,
Right.
because that's the way it's structured, and unfortunately, that's how all our leases are, because all our landlord, our commercial properties are, and even our residential properties, they're all grouped in.
Yes.
So we did do an analysis, and I was gonna present to the board, what that analysis did discover was that, we kind of, and that's what you have in your packet.
Yes.
So when we had an operating restaurant back in 2019 versus what we have right now, we try to do like an average and see how much more we were paying in light. So we saw an average of about 1,800, and that's just for the board to know, cause I know the board had requested that information, and thank you, Sarah and Sonia, for providing that to us. So it does look like an average of 1,800. The water bill was kinda hard to tell, because what happened is that 2019 we have numbers, but then there was that increase, right, by the city. So that's why it shows that there's still an increase. So we couldn't gauge what the average are.
Yeah.
I mean, I would estimate in a restaurant anywhere from $100 to $200 a month. I think that's probably gonna be, you know, what we'll see as an increase. It doesn't show here because of that increase that the city
Yes.
just gave across the board. There was I don't know what they called it, an increase, well, overall. Yeah, it's like,
It's an adjustment.
yeah, an adjustment. Yeah, they added a fee to all accounts throughout the city, so that's why everyone kind of looks higher. And then our gas bill, you can see, and really the gas bill is really just the restaurant part was using, nothing else is gas, I believe, right? Or-
The water heaters.
Okay. So, you see an average, there of about $500 extra.
Mhm.
So I know you discussed right now, with us taking the Van Hood, you were willing to go, you know, like a 3,100.
Yeah, and we were gonna ask if it's possible to do at least like the first 6 months at like, let's say 2,300,
Yeah.
and then after that, it would go up to the 31.
Yes, just for the 6 months, because we wanna see like how people pick up at the downtown specifically, because like right now it's still slow, right? To be concerned on the topic, and then in the 6 months we can tell right away like, oh, this is a good pick up. I'm sure we're gonna hit that number that we estimate, but I just wanna at least 6 months. If it can go to 2,300, that will be, is that right?
Yeah.
23, that will be.
Well, that covers our electricity and gas, but would you consider 2,500? I mean, we kind of halfway.
2,500.
25 is break even basically.
We don't wanna make,
Okay.
I mean, we just don't
And
wanna
our
lose
proposal
any
is gonna
money.
be 2,800, but we understand
Yeah.
that you're barely starting.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So if we go at break even, I think it'll be fair
Okay.
for you and for us as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, a 25, yeah, sounds
2,500
good.
for 6 months, and then we'll look at it
Yes.
Okay.
to get to the 3,100.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Exactly, for
Yes.
6 months, 75. No, no, for that, you know.
Well, if you all wanna do, I mean, what we can do is, and this is what, I mean, I would still suggest that we discuss something right now, like a 1-year lease, and break it with 6 months at this month, unless you all want to do something else, and then the other 6 months set that fee already, and then we can revisit it in a year, because, I mean, and I don't know how y'all feel, but a 6-month lease for a restaurant, you all might feel a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I would still want that year if the board is okay with voting, I mean, unless y'all wanna bring it back in 6 months, but I would say if y'all can establish something for a year lease. But with 6 months at this rate, and then on the 7th month you
But
increase it.
then after the 6 months at 3,500, I thought we had discussed at 30.
31.
No, they're requesting 3,100, but
Yeah,
what
We-
I'm
we-
saying,
We had said
you all had,
3,375.
yeah, you all had asked, when we did the calculations originally on how much, you know, that space should be rented at, it was 3,375. That was
That was the bottom.
That was the, yeah, but I don't know if that would be that something, or you all wanna come back in 6 months and rediscuss it, I mean,
So what you're saying is we would only have a lease for 6 months.
No.
well,
No,
right
no,
now at
12 months.
2,500, yes, but I'm suggesting let's do 6 months, 2,500,
Okay.
and let's decide on the other 6 months right now. And I know you all are asking for 3,100, but and I know the board at one point had wanted to have a lease, originally that was of 3375.
3375.
That was the amount that we had, but again,
Yeah,
and then that's just because, you know, I think it's better to have a 1-year lease right now,
Mhm.
even if it's broken down into 2 payment scale,
right, got it.
but I mean, I don't know if that's something that the board
So
might
this-
want to.
What do you call it? Well, we thought it was gonna be a 2-year lease.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2 to 3 year lease. And we're just saying like for the first 6 months to
Yeah.
do it at 25.
yeah, Yeah, because like we put a lot into effort into that building already. We're not gonna leave in 1 year. To be honest, yeah.
We can do options.
Yeah.
What we can do
So-
is, we'll do
To the
the
25
first 6 months
Yeah.
at 25,
25.
and then the next 6 months
At
at
31. You can do the 31.
we can do the 31, but after those 6 months, we can do 1 or 2 years at 33.75.
Yeah, we can look at it. We want you to be successful. You'll know in a year if you're gonna make it or not. So,
Yes,
so
yes,
the
that's-
2,500 helps you at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then the other 6 months at 3,100, and then we'll look at it then and do a 1 or 2 year at 33.75.
Well, we can do the option at 33.75, and then
Take-
if they wanna take it, yeah.
Okay.
With an option to renew, we've done those type of leases.
Like 1 year and then like 1 or 2 options to renew.
Yes.
Yes.
Instead of locking yourself to
Right.
2 years,
Yeah.
1 year
And
with
then
then a
1 year.
possible extension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we want you to be successful, so.
And the options would be basically, you go the first 6 months at 25, and then the next 6 months at 3,100.
Okay.
If everything goes well, then you let us know, okay, we'll go into the first option at 33.75 for 1 year,
Mhm.
and then at the end of that 1 year, you know there's another option
Yeah.
of 1 year at 3.75. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
But that way you always have a way out every year.
Yeah, yeah,
In
but
case
like,
anything goes.
to me, I'm more concerned is because like after 6 months, then we have to negotiate more. To be
Yeah.
honest, like I would love to have
No,
like
it's after
31.
a year.
No, we're giving you the
After
year.
a year.
Yeah.
A year 31,
Yeah.
not 6 months.
No, no. So they're giving us a year lease.
Yes,
6 months out of that lease
Yeah.
is gonna be 2,500.
correct.
And the
yes.
last 6 months of that lease
Another
is gonna be
31.
31.
Automatic,
Yes.
it's gonna automatic.
Right, but I would love to have like 2 years at least for 31s.
But
You
what
can have
is-
the option.
You're gonna
You can have
the
option?
No,
as
but
well.
not at 3,100.
Dude, that would then go-
No, but at 12 months, but you're
Yeah,
talking
not
about
at
the
31.
time, or you're talking about that you want a 3,100 for the second?
For the second,
3,100
yeah,
for two.
yeah, because like to be honest, like because we want to be downtown, and especially, and then I don't want to be like, okay, we can. I know we both have to make a profit on this one, right? So again, so I just want to have to be at 31 at least like 2 years. I know that the first beginning of 6 months, that's what we discussed at the 25. Because 25, I know the beginning, because again, we have to kind of look into marketing, all the other stuff that we have to be done, right? And then again, because we want to be success at the same time, that's why we want to add that price. Because I don't want to like go on top of that. I know just a few dollars, but it's make a difference to us.
And the thing is that right now, our break even is between 25 and 2,800.
Yes,
And this is with 2021 numbers.
Right, right,
So
Yeah.
it should actually be more.
for sure, yeah.
We're
But
afraid that,
We
really
just don't wanna
understand-
lose
yeah,
money.
we understand the city doesn't want to lose money back at the point of us, like at least one year, so everything 1 year when you open business, so you put your money along already
Yeah.
with, what they call, the renovation and stuff, and also,
Would you consider 6 months at the 2,500?
Yes.
The next 6 months at 3,100, and then we do a lease for 1 year at 3,200. 3,200, that sort of as a compromise instead of the 33.75. So that way, you're gonna get 6 months at 3,100 and another year at
Those were 2
3,200.
years
Yeah.
at an hour.
Okay.
That way we both kind of compromise, and you'll know in 2 years if you're gonna
Yes.
stay there or not.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, I like that better.
I
Thank
mean,
you so much.
that's what I throw out there, if you guys wanna vote on it, or what.
Mm.
Just kind of the compromise.
And then the third year at
And then the
33.75
third year, we do 33.75.
as an option.
As an option.
Yes, yes.
That way, you can say yes or no
Yes.
on year 3.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a
Okay.
motion on the table where the first
for a 2-year lease.
2-year lease, well, it's actually 3 years. But
Okay.
the first year is gonna be 6 months at 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
The second 6 months at 3,100. The second year at 3,200.
3,200 a month,
And the third year at 3,375.
which is what we wanted originally.
That's the motion.
That's the
right?
motion. That's my motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Second by Ms. Montoya. Everybody in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. We can have we'll work on a contract. We'll let you know as soon as it's ready.
Yes.
And again, the options, you can always take them or not take them.
Yes,
It's up to you.
yes, yes.
When do we anticipate having the hood, or what are we looking at? a move-in date for them to start.
Well, we're already working on the quotes, right?
We've
for
been
the-
trying to get the quotes. It's been kinda hard because since it's not a city building, we can't go through the regular, bid process, procurement process. So we've been trying to get quotes, unofficial, you know, outside, vendors as, quotes.
Yeah, we should be able to get something maybe in the next 15 days.
Yes.
And who
Yes.
would pay for them?
It would have to come through the
Do they have the
Hamilton,
money? Do they have the
You guys have, do we have that?
The funds to cover the hood,
The
it
hood.
depends on the price too.
So it was,
We're-
they were
25
looking
and up.
about 25 and up, 25,000, right? Yeah. 20,
No, about $25,000.
How much do we have in
More than that
reserve?
on the reserve.
Do we have?
Yeah.
We did, and I don't have the balance sheet. Once you have the quote, send it to me, the one that's gonna be approved, and I can certainly reach out to the bank or to HUD, because sometimes they'll give us the funds ahead of time since we're making improvements to the building and we need that
Okay.
to show
Yeah,
revenue
cause you always
for
have a
income.
replacement reserve with them, right?
Correct.
But,
Yeah.
but we can't go like 3 months because we're holding them up, but as soon as we get quotes, mejor,
As soon as
so
you
that they
have
can have.
something, send it to me and I'll send it to HUD.
Okay.
So that we can give them
Yeah,
more.
we'll expedite it. We'll follow up, Sarah, Humberto, follow up with you so that he's just gonna send the guys out there, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
and then
fine.
you can
Mhm.
just open the restaurant so they can look at
Yes,
it.
of
Cause I
course.
think that's what they needed to do, they need to go there on
Yes.
site to give us the price.
I have a question, regarding the rental of the agreement. Do we owe any fees to any type of realtor? Do we have any?
So this wasn't,
They
ended
came
up
in
not
on-
being brokered through them,
Well, they came in the middle.
yeah.
So do we still have an active realtor as a listing agent?
They
Yes.
did, but,
They did.
Yeah, but they didn't bring them in, so.
yeah, so I think we just might wanna terminate that contract.
Yes.
So, and, one more question, so you say, so you guys wanna put hood first, right, in order to, for us to get the list, correct?
Well,
Or
we'll
can
put,
they-
we
can
could
we put
work
it
at the same time, I don't
Okay.
think,
Yeah.
I don't
Alright.
wanna stop you from, I'm not gonna stop from the lease.
Okay,
The lease,
okay.
we're hoping that maybe in the next week, we're
Yes.
just gonna, we're looking at the current leases that are with the other properties that also need to be updated.
Okay.
So we're looking at that one and we're gonna be, probably updating that lease in the next, maybe week.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
and
what
then
we
we'll
can
share
do
it with you.
is we can put an effective date,
Oh,
so once the hood is up,
Okay.
then that will be the effective
Oh,
date.
okay, perfect, because right now, since we already discussed, we have almost like conclusion, everything what we have, right? And then we can like apply other stuff that rely on the lease, like, permits, that stuff
Yes.
that, like legal license, stuff like that,
Yes.
we can apply for.
So what
Another
do
one.
we work for you? What timeframe do you all have on construction? Let's say you were to get a lease by next Monday, let's just say.
So the time frame we put in here was 3 months, so
Okay.
it was 25th of this month, actually, we started,
Oh,
but
okay,
we
okay.
actually delayed, but it still be okay, because
Okay.
like the rest of stuff we already taking care of,
Okay.
except like stuff that we have to get the list first, like,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's
I
just
think-
the estimation.
Yeah.
We're hoping to.
Open up
sooner,
before that,
Because
sooner
it's
than-
not, there's
Before
not
when?
much to do
Yeah,
as far as like construction, it's
Yeah.
just putting in our,
Touches.
equipment,
cosmetic wise, yeah.
painting, floor, and that's about it.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
no, then we definitely, we'll work at the same time
Okay.
and we'll expedite, the HUD so that way, the quote, so that way we can get that. Now, let me just ask the question, cause
Yes.
I think, and I don't know who might be here from, might be able to answer. The current HUD, what I was told is that it's not working or it's out of compliance.
It's, as far as,
It's not working.
it's out
It's-
of compliance, they
yeah.
have like a
It's not
red
working.
tag on
It's
it
out of
and everything.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, I think it's out of compliance. Okay.
So, we need to replace.
Okay, so yeah, no, I was just wanting to see, that way we can make sure.
yes.
Question, I heard that you all saying it was 2,500 for the hood.
No,
25,000.
20,000, yeah.
25,000.
It's, no,
We
we
would
were,
pay for that.
we're going.
I wish.
I wish.
We're going by kind of like, we did
By
see the
your
quote
quote.
that you gave us.
Yeah.
Yes,
So we are going, we did verify those specs and our inspector said, yeah, it's basically, this is what you need.
yes.
So we're going off of those specs to make sure that we get, so we
Yeah.
just need to get quotes to see if by miracle we find someone under that, but yeah, we know it might be very close.
We
to
have the guy, but he
He was
also have.
Doing at 15, right?
15 to 18.
15,000.
That
Would
was to
That was the second
refurbish.
quote.
Oh no,
No,
different.
no.
This one
Oh,
will be
okay.
completely like rip off and build a new
Look,
The
one.
new one, they put a new one.
I'll have,
So-
I'll
Yeah.
have, Humberto reach out to you.
Whoa, okay.
If you have those quotes,
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
why we
could-
talk when we.
Do you have their
we
numbers
get
on that?
25,
I'll
right?
give them.
It's a little less than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's
because
not go
like
over 15.
again the same 25,000 at first, we quote at 2 people at first, and then later on we find a friend that just opened up the ramen, and then there was like the same hood, the same size, right? And I asked her if it was saying less than 25, so it's like, oh, perfect. We're about to mention that as well. So
Oh,
like,
no, then give us that information, we'll reach
Yes.
out to them, and maybe it's, I mean, even better.
When you ask them,
I'll email
how soon would they get it? Because we
5
supply,
days.
with,
Usually he finished by 5 days. Like
Oh,
he
there's no problem with supply chain and whatever?
no, nothing. He always like on
It was
time.
ready to go.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's
We can
yeah,
do that.
usually
So-
5
so
days
then maybe
done.
it's-
when we get done, I'll go back and email the lender to see what steps we need to
Yeah,
follow to
and
get
just-
it out of the
And
replacement.
tell them,
reserve
right now it's
just
looking
for
like
them.
20,000.
18,
It is 20,
18 to
but
20.
then it might be, once we get everything, just so that they start telling you the
That's fine.
process.
I'll email them just to
Yeah.
see what they recommend.
Okay, no, I think that's good, so, we'll definitely work,
Yes.
give us a week, and,
Perfect.
and I wasn't even thinking today's Friday, so give us next week, right, to work on the lease. I am, yeah,
Yes,
that's
on Monday,
Today's
so
Friday.
I know, I was saying Monday, I was thinking today was Monday, I don't know why. But, we'll work on the lease, and we'll present it to you so y'all can look at it.
Yes.
And we're just basically adding, we're gonna get it reviewed by
How do you
legal.
pronounce the name?
Gai Tot means fried chicken in Thai language. Gai Tot, T-O-D, Gai Tot. Like,
Kai and then Todd.
yeah.
Kai
Tot.
chicken.
Yeah. Gai
K
Tot
A
Thai,
I
yes.
Kai chicken.
It's my family recipe. So it's a fried chicken. It's authentic fried chicken. You guys will, you're gonna try them when it's open.
Once again, we didn't get it.
Yeah.
We got
Because we
jalapeno.
wait until you guys enjoy seating area too. So we want,
Next-
you know,
next meeting
the
gonna
whole
be down
experience
there.
that we want you guys to.
It's just an idea how much.
Experience
Yeah, we
that.
definitely,
Yeah.
when there's a restaurant there, our board
We
would
would eat
sometimes
there.
have the meetings there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just
so
support
we-
it.
so that's
We'll
Yeah.
open branch too.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
Unless you guys have any more questions on the business.
I think that's it, to be honest.
I also had a question.
Okay.
As far as like when we start paying rent, are we paying rent once we open?
Or the
Is that
lease
possible,
started
or
with
when
the
we
rent.
start?
But nobody
On the list.
It's not.
Can we pay the
What would be
first month
effective date?
and then it starts when we open? It has to be,
You already gonna have.
Well, let's get the
Possession.
Possession and control.
Let's go to while we're fixing to it.
You're gonna.
I would say, mira, we're in June,
got,
if it gets, this is what's gonna happen. And we can prorate also, cause the first month, cause we might not sign on the first.
No, but
Right,
when
we're
they're
done with
saying, you
that.
said that they wanna pay, they're looking at paying rent when they start operating, but I would know,
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
already
And
gonna.
the
Once they take
liability
possession.
also.
No, because
And they
like
control
the
the
other
property.
places they give us like option that, for example, like you get a lease, right? So the first one they didn't count. You just pay the first month and the last month. I mean the first month and deposit.
Yeah.
That's the lease that we pass in also in downtown. And then after that they will say whatever construction is gonna take, they won't count on that month yet until you get everything ready to open. That's the start of that month.
The liability is there for us.
Fix the hood, it's gonna take 2 weeks to do the
Yeah.
hood. So start the lease July 1st. Fix the hood.
so is it possible to work, what do you call it? To kinda like do the painting and everything while you all are working on the hood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
so that we
We can start the
you don't
lease.
have to wait 2 weeks while you,
We can start the lease the 1st of July, so you would have all of June.
to
Okay.
get it up to.
Okay.
Yeah, we can sign, like, so I'm hoping to have the lease, like I said, like in a week, and then we can sign the lease,
Mhm.
but your first
Effective
payment,
July
July
the
first.
July 1st.
July
Like,
1st.
let's say we sign on June
15th.
6th or June 10th or
Yeah.
whatever, but your first payment is until July,
First.
yeah, and then it's
So we have
monthly.
up until then to like kind of like.
Kinda get it.
Yes,
up to-
you'll have a head start,
Okay.
yeah.
Why do you guys wanna fix the floor? The floor is, it looks nice. I mean, I can see the painting.
You
Why don't you wait 6 months and do the floor 6 months later?
Aesthetically, it's
Yeah.
out of date.
Yes.
They just
Rose
wanna
floor
make
is
something.
yeah.
You guys know your business.
It won't go with the
With the paint, with the paint.
yeah,
With
the
the paint?
theme and
Okay.
also the aesthetic why the one we want to go all together.
You
Like
guys
everything
know?
look nice, but the floor, you know, like just like that. I mean, just a little bit.
Okay.
We're very focused on detail.
good.
But hopefully, yeah.
That's good.
Hopefully it'll make it look nice. But we're not gonna replace the whole thing yet right now because seeing again the budget concern. So we just wanna paint it, and then we have a guy already to do like stuff that we want so far. And then after maybe like a year, then we can put like actual like a
Let's
wood
see if
floor
we
and
make
stuff like
profit,
that to
yeah.
improvement the building
Yeah.
as well. So yeah,
So we're thinking about doing like light wood oak floors
yes, that's
after the year.
But a real oak or the planks?
The planking,
The
the
planking.
restaurant grade,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So for right now, you're gonna do the, like, painted with epoxy on top, or?
Yeah, it's basically gonna look like cement.
Epoxy,
Yeah.
the
Paint
stain.
over the-
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
No, you don't wanna remove. Okay, good, you guys are good.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
That was the
concerns?
only one,
Yeah.
the last one I had.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Congrats.
So, perfect.
Thank you.
So we should expect it at least within a week or so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Thank you
Hopefully
so
we can have our
much.
next meeting there.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you
have our
so
meeting there, so we,
much. Yes, I
so we
would
can
love to
support
see
you.
you, and thank you so much. And then we're definitely, yes, I'm working on the invitation already, so definitely I'll send it to you.
Don't
and
sample
then-
the food?
That's what our soft opening is for, which you'll
Yeah,
invited.
yeah, definitely. The soft opening will be like just for a friend or family that people will just know, and then the grand opening that will be for the customers. We're gonna have like a two.
Alright.
So yes,
Invite us.
can't wait.
And I believe the board's okay if Sarah starts letting you go and see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
property.
that's-
Yeah.
You know,
Perfect.
as soon as you need to.
Yeah, because we wanna also improvement on the bathroom as well, so
Yeah,
renew the painting.
We talked about it, no.
If you could send me, your phone number, so that you can reach me on my cell,
Oh,
it's better.
okay.
She's so I'm sorry, I don't know if you met her before, but
Oh,
Sarah
yes,
is a
yes,
site.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yes.
okay, alright, we'll just see
So,
you.
You can write it
Right.
here.
Yes.
That's easier, yeah.
I can put my cell, you call me whenever, and then we can slip.
Alright, thank you.
All right, now we'll shoot you a text.
Send me the number.
She'll be going out on vacations here soon, but we'll certainly be available.
Look forward.
Thank you, guys.
Well excited?
Yes. Ready to move forward.
Thank you.
This is me, Matt, and Angel is my husband. Yes.
I like Friday, so we'll be very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We hope so too. Yeah.
There's a lot of good things happening downtown.
Yeah.
Just to give you so across, right next to it, the Southern Hotel, we're gonna renovate it. So the city is requesting a grant right now, and we're hoping if we get approved, we're gonna be doing, it's gonna be mixed income housing, because most of our grants do have to have a low income component.
Yes.
But it's not elderly, it's just gonna be open to anybody, but they're gonna be small studio and 1 bedroom apartments. There's gonna be about 22 units,
Nice.
so it's gonna be really
If you
nice.
need, if you
Maybe
need,
an interior
yeah,
designer.
interior design.
Oh, okay.
He consulted for free right now because he just tried to get the name out there. So
Okay.
just for Laredo, they don't really know. You know, we just
Yeah.
know that here.
Well, we're working with an architect, so I could put you in contact with him, and maybe, because I know we've already designing, some of the floors, we're just gonna have like a rec room, a community room, and an office space on the first floor. We opted not to do commercial, I guess, commercial suites yet, but that might be.
We need grocery store down here, right?
Yes, we need.
Next future.
Yes,
future.
yes. I mean,
Another project. Another project.
No, we've been trying to, the city has been trying to push for some.
Especially
little bit,
Asian
something
store.
small.
Yeah.
We don't have Asian store there.
Yes.
That's
And
true.
that is-
It's hard
Sure,
for
good
us
at
to
Trader Joe's
drive
down
to
here.
Austin for 3 hours to get Asian.
And we have a strong Asian community, because a lot of our downtown, I'm sure you all seen, a lot of our, I know right now they suffered in the last 2 years, right, but they're very vibrant, and there is a community, so I've always been, interested why
We
we
used to
don't
have
have
a
a store.
festival, an Asian
Yeah.
festival.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, well,
too.
so we're excited for you all and let us know if you have any questions.
Yes, thank you so
Right,
much.
thank you once again, guys.
Yes, thank you again.
Thank you. See you soon.
See you.
See you guys.
You'll have a good day.
You
I mean,
too.
good weekend, right? Long weekend.
Yeah, want some tax, stop by the truck tonight?
Yes, yes.
You all are at Cultura?
Yes, yes, we also open tonight.
Yes.
6 to 11. Thank you so much.
Perfect, so we close item number 5, we'll go back to item number 4, finance, operation and staff report by Capstone Real Estate Services and city staff. We'll open the floor for Capstone.
Okay, this is the variance report for April. Income were negative 7,458 due to rent increases.
Before we start,
The last one?
on your year-to-date budget,
Mhm.
why do we have a negative for the net income? Do we budget with negatives?
I'm sorry, where?
On the
Your-
net.
Year-to-date net income. Negative, the 146.
We did, there were some months that we budgeted for large expenses, for example, the, what
But
do you
we've,
call it, the.
we've never we've
The
never
furniture.
budgeted on negative.
I'll double check on that, but there was a couple of months there that were.
Remember I
negative
asked you
because
last
we're-
time when they were gonna check?
Yes, and I told her and she sent it to accounting to get an update on it, and it's the pending.
Yes. So I'm waiting for a call from our accounting department. As soon as I have an answer for that, I'll let you know. And I think we sent over the budget to you, Tina, also a few months ago.
Mm.
Remember you had said that you didn't have it and I resent it.
I think we had presented to you all, I don't remember, what did we bring to them last time? I don't know, what did we bring? Cause you had sent me something and then I did share what it was just that one.
It was on March 9th.
On March 9th, what is that one?
It was a December budget comparison
Yeah,
for
it was last
2021.
year, we wanted the current.
We wanted the current.
Yes.
It
No,
was
I
last year.
told send the current one. I'll resend it because if it was March 9th, this is,
Yeah,
I
this is
sent
all,
it back
this is
in
all that I
March.
received and I did share with the board.
And we asked for the new one, cause that one was for last year.
correct.
Yeah, this is what I had presented before. The
It
December.
was December 25th.
Okay. I'll resend you the budget because I have it here. I just don't have copies for everybody.
We can make
I
copies.
can make copies. Okay. You can, perfect. Yeah, this is a 2022 budget. The one that was.
We have a small recess of 5 minutes, meanwhile we get the coffee.
Okay. Just recess, you can call.
This is what we have.
Are we ready? Yes?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes,
Thank
we're
you.
ready. Let's record.
Back from recess, we'll continue the meeting. We received copies of the budget for 2022. Question. So our budget is negative 95,000 for the year? We're expected to lose 95,000?
Those are the proposed expenses that we would have liked. Of course, there's funds, right? That's just the proposed, they say that we have 0 funds and this is what we start with, 0, right? But there's funds to cover some of those expenses, plus some of those expenses we haven't had to incur, we haven't gone through with them on that budget. If you look at year to date on the variance, we're actually net income positive. And again, this is just for April, through April, it's 29,000.
Why would we budget on a negative? That's my question.
There are some things that we, that we need, but we weren't, it hasn't been approved, so we haven't spent it. And there were funds. That doesn't account for cash available.
But, so if you have a negative budget you collect all the revenues, 100% of the revenue. And then you spend 100% of your expenses, you're gonna end up negative income at the end of the fiscal year again. So why budget
On the negative.
on a negative, yeah, why not budget, to have a zero,
Realistic.
that way, you don't go over the budget, you don't spend what you have.
No, so we don't spend what we don't have, those are things that are needed or that we have on our wish list, for example, replacing all the furniture, I mean, we've seen the condition that it's in. But if there's no funds, then we don't buy anything, we buy what we need, which are gonna be your
How do you-
HVACs, your.
How do you know if they're funds? How do you check to see?
Because we check with our accounting department to check the account balance that we have, and what's available, what's net available.
But if you check the account balance, that doesn't tell you really how much money you have. It shows you a budget, but how you really should check is check to see if the revenues come in, then you can spend the money,
Correct,
not whether there's a budget or not.
correct, we don't spend what's actually there, we depend, so our accounting department, we ask them for a cash projection for, let's say, the next 3 months. And based on collections, based on outstanding checks that they have, that haven't cleared the bank, based on everything else, all the accruals and everything, they'll tell us, okay, for the next 3 months, you'll barely be meeting, let's say, your critical expenses, which is your payroll, your utilities, your insurance, anything like that. You'll have, I said, realistically, and again, based on what the trend is of expenses, which is your carpets, your HVACs, you'll have an additional $5,000. And we decide whether, okay, we're gonna buy the furniture or we're not gonna buy it. So they do a trend projection based on what we've spent so far.
Who approves the budget?
You all do, the budgets are not approved yet.
I don't
You know,
think
we
I don't
propose
think
it.
you all have motioned to approve a budget since maybe 2019. I think none of them have been brought to actually for you all to vote. I don't believe there has been.
We've emailed them in the past and then just to see if they're approved. If they're not approved, we spend what's needed, what's critical. We continue to pay utilities, we continue to pay if there's an HVAC that needs to be replaced or carpet that needs to be replaced. We don't spend on luxuries because we just can't. I mean, I think we've all agreed that Hamilton's not a profit senior
No,
citizen
yeah.
building,
No, I think they were asking like, did they vote on this budget?
No, they haven't.
Yeah,
No.
I don't believe it was.
This is one of the items we need to bring to next meeting to make adjustments and not have a negative.
And I think what they're hearing is, I think you need to go back to your accounting department and tell them, I understand that you're working in your capital improvement project, but your capital improvement project should be a separate document. So if you don't have funds right now, let's just say with the expected revenue that you have, so you have an expected revenue with a percentage of vacancy that you predict.
We need
Work
an
with that.
operational budget.
Work with that, don't.
Just an operational.
Yes, just
Okay.
work with, so if and I'm just saying right now, like if you're expecting $1 million, and that's already counting vacancies, that's already counting your vacancy of your restaurant, that's already, whatever that was, you have that budget of projected revenue, then do your expenses based on that budget. Now, if there's items that you're saying, I'm gonna be negative because I don't have, it doesn't even show I'm gonna make that money, then put it as a separate document as a capital improvement request. Say, I understand that we might not make this money, but we're gonna have to figure out how to find this money for these improvements, because these improvements are needed, but right now I don't have a budget for it. So don't budget it in there, because I think that's why your variance report each month is showing negative, and we're not seeing the true number. Your variance report should show me exactly how much you received and how much you spent. And this is showing you, well, I was expecting to receive so much, I was expecting to spend so much, but I'm still negative. I mean, it's just really confusing, I think, and I think that's what.
And it can be, but hold on.
And this is where the city is helping, you know, the board just revisit these financials and see why is it that, you know, certain numbers don't add up, and what better way can we all work together to see what is actually happening at the Hamilton, how much money is really coming in and how much really money is expense, because I know that was the biggest concern, that, you know, eventually we don't have enough money to keep the lights on.
Who reviews the expenses on a monthly basis?
We do at the site level. We have a third-party billing company that processes all the utilities for us, all the critical expenses, so that they don't go missed. And then we get pre-post books, which is where your variance comes from, once they're final. Meaning, okay, this is what hit on the financials, this is the outstanding invoices that we have, so we accrue them. Remember, we're in accrual books.
As far as the variance, I'm sorry, as far as the variance report, this is the actual collections for the month of April. We collected $94,000, and then you have your other income.
So if you had a better budget that wasn't negative, then you wouldn't be showing a variance of 7,000. That's what we're trying to say. So if you right now, your budget is inflated, right? Because y'all are putting in there in the budget
Your
things that
expenses are inflated.
yes. So if you had a more, you know, if you had a balanced budget, meaning you only balance what you expect to receive and you zero it out, then your variance might come out a little bit. And I understand sometimes you're like, okay, well, I didn't make, if you're going by your, if you're going by your actuals and then you expense actuals, then you shouldn't have negatives on your variances.
And a budget should always be operational.
So on capital, what I'm looking at right now is that we have, for example, in March, we had 14,000 for furniture, which clearly we didn't buy because we can't afford it right now. And then we have Johnson Controls expenses to the community for the fire system and things. Those are kind of what we based on other repairs that we've done in the past, so we have to budget for those. But we can certainly take anything out of here that's, you know, per se on a wish list.
Do you think it would be possible, for Mr. Delgado to like contact your accounting guru or
Absolutely, we
whatever,
can schedule a
and that
call.
way they can schedule a call and they can talk about it and see where
Absolutely,
we're off?
yeah.
That might not be a bad idea. Right.
I'll get in touch with you so we can set up a call.
And the problem with having a negative budget is that your numbers are always gonna look good, which is unrealistic.
Yeah, as far as the expenses, yes,
Correct.
the revenues are always gonna look bad.
But like on the net income, they're projecting to lose 90-something thousand for the year, and through April, they're actually at 29,000
Positive.
positive.
Yeah, because the budget is unrealistic.
Because
It's
it
not an
accounts-
operational budget.
The net income accounts for all the capital items that we have budgeted, but we're not
That
buying any
includes a
of
wish
them.
list, basically.
That's why.
I was gonna tell you, give me those 29,000 to buy the hood.
Right?
Okay.
We'll definitely schedule something and get on a call.
So this is gonna be reviewed and then later
We'll
present it.
presented to for approval.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Any other questions, comments?
I guess in the past, how was it,
Was it approved like every certain month of the year?
Yes, usually by like January, you would present it to us, right? Yes.
But we didn't because of COVID and.
I think in the last couple of years,
The last
maybe,
couple of years.
it might have like,
Right.
might have not been happening the way that we used to do it.
We purchase what's absolutely needed. Anything that would be a luxury,
We don't.
we just put it aside, you know.
But I think to look at it is really, you have to have your expenses match your revenues. And then if you have expenses, then you might have, let's say something comes up and you have to do it, then you have to cut from, you have to do line items, do transfer line items and say, okay, well, this year, I mean, we get to the point of, I don't buy a new uniform for my staff, you know what I mean, things like that.
I think we've gone
But then
2
you move,
years without.
but then you
going
move
to-
line items, so then move it, don't leave that line item there and say, and it happens sometimes, right, on us, we'll be like, oh, this one's negative and this one's positive, okay, what's a positive? Well, yeah, but move the line item and then show, so that your variance is not showing negatives that might not actually be there, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I think overall, I think that's what the board really wants to see, actual, like, closer numbers to reality, right, closer to, and I know you feel, no, I am already doing that, but it's not reflecting,
On
I
paper it
think that's.
doesn't
Not on the budget, it's
Yeah.
not going to reflect, because once the budget is set, it's locked in per se.
Yeah.
And unless you all request for every month for it to be reopened and actuals be put in.
Maybe on a quarterly basis, you
We
can,
do that, you know what I mean? And then, but your actual expenses are in your.
Yeah, cause that's the way the city works is every year we approve a budget. And then, but we're allowed to do line item transfers, you see? And of course, they don't like for me to do a line item transfer every week, every month, so we try to, do them quarterly but because we always have to keep in mind, it has to look, correct.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy, correct.
Got it.
Yeah, and I think that's where, I think a lot of the concern, that's where it's been, because
Certainly
we
we can do that.
see different numbers, yeah.
Absolutely.
The reason I was asking about who was reviewing, the monthly expenses or the weekly expenses, I don't know your process, is because, with the city, we have different departments, and sometimes, some expenses hit the incorrect fund or department. And I don't know if, somebody's checking to see if, there's an expense for another facility that's hitting, Hamilton, or any expense that
Belongs
might
to
not
Hamilton's
be
hitting
really
somewhere else.
necessary. I was reviewing just the first page of last month of the month of March, itemized expenses, and I saw an expense for cake, pastries, something like that, $109, something like that. So I don't know if that would be considered operational expense or how.
Is that for the viejitos or what?
Some of them are for, resident, retention, and we do like cake and pan dulce and coffee and water. And then I have coffee in my office that I stock up with because they go and they ask. And then Mother's Day comes around, we buy a cake. A birthday comes around and we buy a cake, stuff like that. Well, I donate stuff. If somebody's gonna come sponsor something and they're gonna have a loteria, I'm gonna sponsor a few gifts so they can raffle off also. Part of Hamilton and then part of whoever's coming to do the function.
The thing
Yes.
is that if we're on a negative, we can't do things like that.
And we might not be, but we just need the real, like,
What is the real one?
The real
Maybe we'll
budget.
know. We need to find out. Very good. Right. Item 5, item 6.
New business, I'm sorry, we'll close that. Any other comments, questions on item number 4?
Yep.
Okay, we'll close item number 4, pending revision of the budget. New business, anything on the table?
any new business, just, we will try to follow the schedule, your approved, meeting schedule. So I thank the board for, being flexible and these special meetings, that we did call, but we will, so
13th,
Are you all
a
okay with that?
Wednesday.
July 13th, that gives. It's
I believe so.
July.
July 13th.
Yeah. And I think that would give us enough time to bring you, by that time we can bring you the updated, like, budget, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Tina, we might need a meeting before that, so they can approve the needs.
No, they voted.
It is already
The
on.
motion, yeah, no, the amounts have been set and we will be taking care of the lease, yeah.
So we're approved.
Yeah, they're okay with it. Yeah, your motion covers you all signing the lease, so I will just probably need the president or vice president to sign off on the lease.
Oscar, and I'm gonna be out for 2 weeks, so what, if, they need any signatures, they're gonna come to you.
Any point in July?
No, the next
Remember
week.
the lease, we should have it ready within the next week.
Okay.
So if I have the lease ready by next week, I would just need the president to sign off, or the vice president.
Any other new business? Okay, we're gonna close citizen comments, no citizen comments at the time. And then, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Jorge Gonzalez, second by Ms. Montoya, everybody in favor? Motion carries, thank you everybody.
Thank you.